Chapter 1. The Silver Platter. In a kingdom carved from stone and silence, there lived a king who ruled with wisdom, but also with secrets. Each evening, after the court had retired, after the last candle had been snuffed and the hallways gone still, a covered silver platter was brought to the king's chamber. No one knew what it held. No cook had ever prepared it. No servant had ever seen beneath the lid. Except one, a young man, quiet, loyal, unnoticed by most. He served the king not for praise, but from discipline. He watched everything, and he remembered. One night, the weight of silence grew too heavy. The king had left the platter untouched on his desk. The servant entered quietly, as always, but this time, curiosity had a voice. He lifted the lid. There, curled atop polished silver, lay a single white snake, still glistening otherworldly. He paused, then took a bite. The taste was soft, subtle, not like meat or fruit, but like something that never wanted to be eaten. And suddenly, he heard them. Not people, not spirits. Voices from the sparrows on the windowsill, a whisper from the ants beneath the floor, the sigh of a spider in the rafters, the language of the forgotten. The servant dropped the lid gently back onto the tray, heartbeat steady. The world had not changed, but he had. And once you hear the truth in things that cannot speak, you're never silent again. Chapter 2. The Ring and the Accusation. The next morning came cloaked in tension. The queen's favorite ring, golden, ancient, passed through generations, was gone. The palace was locked. The guards had slept by the gates. No stranger had entered. No thief had been seen. Which left only one explanation in the king's eyes. The servant, and they were alone near the queen's chamber. The king said, not in anger, but in certainty. And you've never failed me, but this I cannot ignore. The court echoed with silence. Eyes turned sharp. Every whisper cut deep. The servant did not argue. He bowed, then listened, not to the king, not to the courtiers, to the sparrow outside the window. Its voice slipped into his thoughts like wind through cracked glass. On the ring is not lost. It lies deep, swallowed by one who covets crumbs. The servant's eyes shifted. He followed the whisper past the garden wall into the stillness of the kitchen yard, where the queen's ducks fed noisily in a stone basin. He waited, then pointed. Slaughter one. The ring is inside. The cook hesitated. The guards laughed. But the king, watching quietly, nodded once. The duck was taken, and when its belly was opened, there it lay, the queen's ring, untouched, still shining. The court gasped. The king stood. You are free, he said, and more than that, you are no ordinary servant. But the servant did not smile. He knew. When the world starts to whisper its secrets, your silence becomes a responsibility. Chapter 3. The Departure. He could have stayed. The king offered gold, land, a position of honor. But the servant, the one who now heard what others ignored, declined them all. I need to go, he said simply. Not for riches, not for recognition, for clarity. Because once you've heard the world whisper to you, you can't return to pretending it's silent. He packed only what he could carry. No armor, no sword, just quiet strength and a still mind. As he walked beyond the gates of the palace, the wind seemed to shift. Not against him, but with him. He passed through forests that murmured his name, fields where the flowers turned gently as he walked by. And on the third day, he found his first choice. A shallow stream trickled across the path, and beside it 3 fish flopped desperately in the mud, washed ashore after the river had pulled back without warning. He paused. They didn't speak, not with words, but he could feel them. Help us, not because you must, because you can. He lifted them gently, one by one, and placed them back into the water. They circled once, then vanished into the deep. No reward, no magic light, just silence again. And he smiled. Because he didn't need thanks. He understood the gift now. To hear the world is to serve it. And those who help without asking why, they are never forgotten.